There's one thing that, again, Boris and even the rest of the Brexiteers are desperately trying to prove at the moment, is that somehow, in some way, Brexit is working, and that there are all these fantastic benefits. We've just yet to do them yet. That's it. Wait, they're coming. But remember, we've already had a year of Brexit and nothing happening. This is why they're so anxious. They're so, oh my God, what are we going to do? And remember, Jacob Rees-Mogg isn't going to succeed in this. Whatever paper Jacob Rees-Mogg puts out, whatever ye mad-capped, insane idea he comes up with, is going to be met with a lot of resistance. You've only got to go back a couple of months ago where the business secretary, Kersey Kwarteng, was putting forward the idea that we should get rid of the Working Time Directive. And luckily, he was met with an absolute backlash against this. So hopefully we will see similar backlashes against it. And not only that, but businesses will desperately need to speak up and say, guys, if you change that, we're already experiencing hard enough as it is to export our goods to the EU. Doing this and changing regulations or whatever crazy plan Mogg is about to come up with is going to make it even worse. And then, hopefully, as we saw before, businesses will be shouting at the Tories, we need to rejoin the EU. And eventually the Tories will pay very much attention to that because, like I say, a lot of those businesses are their backers as well. So, as always, as I've always said, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page. And of course, there's a one-off donation link called Buy Me a Coffee, where you can, well, buy me a coffee. And of course, on with the show. I thought I was going to say something else there, but never mind. Yes, on with the show. So this comes from the Byline Times with the title of The Brexit Build Back Botch. Businesses visited by Boris Johnson see profits collapse. 6 British businesses recently championed by Boris Johnson have seen their profits slash by 99% since 2019, the Byline's intelligence team can reveal. With surging inflation, a cost of living crisis, a war in Europe, and the aftershocks of the pandemic still being felt, Johnson's promise of a high-wage, high-skilled, high-productivity economy almost seems mythical. Countries around the world have suffered due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but Britain has been hit harder than most. What's more, while other European countries are bouncing back, the UK is forecasted to lag behind, hindered by a departure from the EU. Indeed, the government's independent economic forecaster, the Office for Budget Responsibility, estimates that the long-term impact of Brexit will be more than twice as great as COVID. Labour's Shadow Chancellor Rachel Reeves is now repeatedly criticising the Conservatives for being a low-growth party. And the Byline intelligence team investigated the ordinary businesses that Johnson has visited back in 2022 to assess whether they are experiencing the economic boom promised by the Prime Minister, and it found quite a large gap between the rhetoric and the reality. As Britain prepares to be squeezed, Boris Johnson's go-to claim at Prime Minister's Question Times in recent weeks has been that the UK is the fastest growing economy in the G7. But Johnson's boast doesn't present the full picture. The British economy is growing relatively quickly because it collapsed so significantly back in 2020, experiencing the worst economic constriction since the 1921 depression. In fact, since the start of the pandemic, the UK's economic growth has been alongside the slowest G7 growth, correlating directly with the government's poor handling of the pandemic, and has seen the UK record the most deaths in Europe. And this state of affairs has been suffered by British firms, with the company's house records showing that all but 1 in 6 of the businesses visited by Johnson has seen their profits fall since 2019. The one firm that has improved its profits loss proportion is the Blackpool Transport. However, Though the firm's loss after tax was reduced by 15% between 2018 and 2019, the fiscal year between 20 and 21 still did not make a profit last year, reporting a loss of at least £567,000. Additionally, comparing the company's 2014 and 15 accounts to its latest filing reveals that the Black Box Transport's profits after tax have fallen by 147%, perhaps indicating that Brexit hasn't helped British businesses to build back better. The business frustration about Brexit was recently highlighted in the British Chamber of Commerce survey, in which 71% of exporters said that the UK's trade deal with Europe was not enabling them to grow or increase sales. Despite the Prime Minister's recent visit, Harrison Quarry Products Europe has also not yet found the Conservative promise of Brexit sunlit uplands, with profits after tax falling by 81% between 2014 and 2018. By December of 2020, the company, which had previously reported a profit of more than £6 million in 2014, was operating at a loss of £52.3 million after tax. With the pandemic in full swing, to what degree the EU withdrawal played a part in this is, of course, conveniently inconclusive. Johnson donated his workmen gear yet again back in February to visit Blackpool, a town, not a city, contrary to the Prime Minister's recent gaffe in one of the country's most deprived areas. After arriving by private jet, Johnson then headed to the Talbot Gateway, the regeneration project, where he posed on the Aiden Construction digger, wearing a very Muse Developments brand hard hat and an orange jacket emblazoned with Robertson's logo. All these companies' looks at these balance books were hit by the pandemic, with Muse Developings reporting at least a 50% fall in profits after tax, and Robertson's profits declining by 94%. Aiden Construction did fare the best, with only about a 28% reduction in profits. Yet, instead of turbocharging Robertson's growth, Brexit has not protected the business from the impact of COVID, and the company made at least £99.5 million profit the year before the EU referendum. But by June of 2020, this figure had been reduced by 90% to just £972,000. Yet another example of the Prime Minister's empty words. Johnson captioned on Instagram post this week to the Tilbury Docks in Essex, saying, "We're maximising the benefits of Brexit." Of course, the docks are owned by Firth Ports, a firm with a record of at least 44% reduction in profits over the pandemic and at least a 23% decline since the Brexit referendum. In December of 2018, the company pocketed at least £81.8 million in profits, but the 2 years later, according to the company's house filings, these had fallen to £45.9 million. And of course, Johnson visited the Orthos Eco Park on the 28th of January. This company was again excluded from analysis as it did not file the information about its profit and loss from 2019. Of course, Forth Ports, Harrison, Blackpool Transport, Muse Developments, Robinson, and Anderson Construction denied to comment when approached by the Byline Times. And obviously, 10 Downing Street did not respond to our request for comments. So, as you can see, the lie that Brexit is working, it's going to be this wonderful thing, is going to be questioned very quickly, very, very quickly, and very, very fast, because things are not going well with the British economy, and things can only go downhill from here. And as I've said before many times, we are going to see the other European countries start racing ahead of us, as they currently are doing at the moment, because again, they are in the EU, they are in the Single Market and Customs Union. That is best for their trade. Instead, we're doing deals with Australia and just very recently New Zealand, which again are going to provide absolutely no benefits to us whatsoever. Again, even the government's own analysis of these reports, it's like 0.01%. And even the New Zealand one, I think, was even worse. That was a minus negative effect. Not only to say the knock-on effect that is also going to have for the agricultural communities here in the UK as well. Like I say, the British public for the first time is really going to actually experience the true reality of what these trade deals and Britain's actual capacity is as this, quote, great trading nation that the Brexiteers claimed that Britain truly is. But of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And of course, the YouTube memberships are open as well. And of course, as always, thank you very much you all for watching. And of course, we'll see you all next time.